Here with head coach Heather Vullin following women's basketball's loss to Quinnipiac. Coach, if you could start with an opening statement.
First off, hats off to Quinnipiac. They played a really well-rounded, all-around game. They really made every pass difficult for us tonight. We were down a little bit with some players, and they really took advantage of that. But I was very impressed. Obviously, we had a terrible first half, and I was really impressed with the fight that the team showed to really make the second half very competitive. So it's one of those games where we got to learn from it, and now we got to get ready for Ryder.
Questions?
Obviously, in the first half, it was a slog for both teams, really
Yep.
offensively. What do you attribute that to?
I think, both of us statistically are two of the best teams in the league for defense. So I was expecting both teams not to be shooting a high percentage and to be kind of locked in on defense. I wasn't expecting us to shoot so poorly. I did feel like we had some decent shots, but it was just one of those days where we weren't capitalizing on some of the good shot opportunities that we had. And obviously they're a veteran team, and they were doing a nice job of capitalizing on their shots.
How do you think Morgan was able to be so effective in that second half?
Well, the big challenge I gave to them at halftime is we have to be aggressive. Like if you're gonna hope something works out and you're not gonna be a Division I athlete and be aggressive, then we can't run anything on offense. So I really feel that Zaya took, I put her in the starting lineup in the second half, and I really feel that she owned the opportunity and was aggressive and was rewarded for it.
25 turnovers for you guys tonight. You think that's more of a testament to their defensive player, or was it just overall sloppy passing?
I think it was a combination of both. I know they had a number of steals, but I felt like a number of the steals we literally just threw it to them, and I feel like they were a little fatigued because it is constant pressure, and I think maybe they got a little mentally fatigued. But I was very disappointed in how we handled the ball tonight. That was probably my biggest disappointment of the night.
Towards the end of the first half, you were seeing, yelling at one of the referees. Was there an issue with you and your team in terms of how the game was called?
Every time I'm in a game, I just want it to be consistent. And as long as it's consistent, I have no issue. If it's not, then that's something I'm going to bring to their attention.
Do you think it wasn't consistent?
Yeah, I felt that at times it wasn't consistent, but I'll rewatch the game. There are times I watch the film, and I was wrong on a call. I thought maybe it wasn't a foul, but it was a foul. So I'll rewatch the film. But we just got to stay locked in and not worry about the officials and worry about what we need to do to be successful.
6 for 21 from three-point range. We talked about this before. Do you think your team is settling a little too much from three-point range instead of going down low and feeding Courtney, who's been having a remarkable season?
Yeah, unfortunately tonight we were having trouble getting the ball in, and I felt every time they did try to throw the ball in, it was a turnover. So at that point, I was fine with them. If they have a 1-2 step into their three, I was fine with them taking it. I'd rather have a shot opportunity than another turnover.
Last game, Deanna Davis was the leading scorer. Obviously, today you guys didn't have her. What led to that, and how was the turnaround of having to play without her?
Yeah, Dee Dee has been playing outstanding. In my opinion, she should be the MAC Rookie of the Year, and we're hoping that we can get her back. This season, she did suffer a knee injury, so she's day-to-day right now, so we're hoping we can get her back in the lineup. But she is legit our third starter. Our 1, 2, and 3 have all ended out with injuries. So that was a big loss tonight, because not only offensively has she been great, but I feel defensively she's been stepping it up also. But she's in great hands. Our training staff does an outstanding job, so we're just hoping for the best.
Last question.
With the MAC tournament right around the corner, what areas do you think you need the most improvement in, and how confident are you moving forward in your team?
I think the biggest area is obviously just offensive flow. That's something that we've got to be consistent. We always seem to have games where maybe our guards are dominant, or we have games where our bigs are dominant, but we haven't really had games where it's consistent scoring across the board. So just getting in the flow, especially now that Dee Dee's not in the lineup, we've got to make sure that we find someone else that can step up, and then we just need more consistent post-production and scoring. So I think that's probably going to be the biggest area. I think defensively, Quinnipiac averages in the 70s. We held them under that tonight. So I think defensively we're doing some great things, but offensively we've got to get better.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.